Hi guys, welcome to another edition of Football Heaven 24/7. I'm your host Jamie Carter. It's a beautifully hot day again today. I'm going to continue with my reviews of Premier League seasons from years gone by. We've done a lot of seasons over the last few days. We've covered from the 92-93 season and we've come all the way up to 2011-12. Now, a lot of things happened in the few seasons leading up to 11-12. There was slight progress being made over the last 2 or 3 seasons by Manchester City, mainly to the fact that they'd brought in Carlos Tevez from Manchester United after he'd won pretty much everything you can win domestically at United. So he'd made that switch to Manchester City and he became part of the Manchester City revolution. The previous season, on 2010-11, Manchester United had won it, and the season before that, it was Chelsea who had won it. So it was time for someone new to come along in these days of Manchester City winning it or Liverpool winning it recently. It's nice to see that three separate teams won, one after the other, in a period of time. So that's quite nice to see. I'd like to see that happen this year, possibly like a surprise like Arsenal, Tottenham, or somebody like that, or maybe even Chelsea get back up there. But I can't see it this season being obviously the 22-23 season. I can just only see Manchester City really, obviously winning the title. So we'll go into it, but this was the first time that Manchester City would win the Premier League. It was the first time they'd won the top flight title since I believe 1968 or 69, I think it was, and which so it was a long, long time. But anyway, they won the title this season, Manchester City, and it was one of the it was the most dramatic season. Um, well, bar the 88-89 season between Liverpool and Arsenal, where Arsenal had to go to Liverpool and win 2-0 at Anfield on the last game of the season to win it. Bar that game, this was probably one of the most dramatic. Um, anyway, cut a long story short, Manchester City won the title on goal difference. They had a better goal difference than Manchester United at the end of it all. They were on a 65 goal difference, plus 65, and Manchester United were on plus 56. So there was a goal difference there of plus 8 between Manchester City and United. Now, on the last day of the season, Manchester United had to win their game, and obviously Manchester City had to lose, or draw, and then Manchester United would be champions. Now, Manchester United went away to Sunderland. They did their job. They won 3-0 at Sunderland. But Manchester City, one of the craziest comebacks. I think they went 1-0 down, then it was 1-1, then it was 2-1 to QPR. They were playing at home on the last day of the season. And then the madness began, and there was 2 goals towards the end. Most notably, Aguero scoring in the 93rd minute, I believe it was, of injury time to make it 3-2. Now, Manchester United's game had finished early, so they were all busy celebrating. Fergie was celebrating, thinking he'd won the title again for the second time. And much to the delight of pretty much everyone in the country, apart from Man United supporters, Manchester City got that last minute goal in injury time. The famous words from Martin Tyler, the commentator on Sky Sports, Aguero, and all that kind of stuff. It was mental. It's probably one that goes down as the greatest moment in Premier League history, along with another moment that we will talk about, not in this episode, but in the next episode after this one. So yeah, Manchester City, first title, they won it. Top goal scorer, though, was two Man United players. Robin Van Persie was at the top of the goal scoring for the 2011-12 season. He finished with 30 goals. Wayne Rooney finished in second place with 27 goals. Aguero was in third with 23 goals. And then, surprisingly, for Fulham, Clint Dempsey, the American forward of Fulham, and equal fourth place was Emmanuel Adebayor of Tottenham at this time with 17 goals. So PFA Player of the Year was Robin Van Persie. No surprise there because he was the top goal scorer, 30 goals. PFA Young Player of the Year was an emerging Kyle Walker at that particular time playing for Tottenham. As we know, he plays for Manchester City these days. The goal of the season was Papi Cissé's beautiful goal for Newcastle away at Chelsea. I remember what happened. He was on the edge of the penalty area, the left-hand side of the box. Outside of it, I think it was about 25 yards out. He hit it with the outside of his right foot and it swerved and looped right over the keeper into the far left-hand corner of the keeper's net. The keeper was not expecting it. It was a beautiful goal. My brother's a Newcastle fan and he was loving it. I would absolutely love it. He was loving it. like Keegan would have been if he was in charge. So, yeah, so Newcastle actually had a good season. They finished fifth in the 2011-12 season. Manchester City sat, like I say, first title. Team of the season, Joe Hart, the Manchester City goalkeeper. At the back, it was Kyle Walker of Tottenham at the time, Vincent Kompany, Manchester City, Fabrizio Colocino, the guy with the poodle perm from Newcastle United, Leighton Baines, the left-back stalwart at Everton. In the midfield, it was David Silva of Manchester City, Yaya Toure, the midfield legend of Manchester City, Scott Parker of Fulham, and Gareth Bale of Spurs. I think that's right, yeah. And then we had Robin van Persie up front, and Wayne Rooney. So great seasons for those guys. Like I say, Newcastle were the standout team in a way. The top four was Manchester City at the top, obviously. Manchester United second, both teams on 89 points. Arsenal in third with 70. Tottenham in fourth with 69. And Newcastle with 65 points in fifth. Chelsea were just outside that. They didn't have a great season by their standards. They dipped off a bit that season. And so did Liverpool, to be fair. Liverpool had finished behind Everton in eighth, and Everton finished seventh. Everton finished seventh. Get a bit tongue-tied there. But in the teams that got relegated that season were Bolton, Blackburn Rovers and Wolverhampton Wanderers. The largest win of the season was Manchester United smashing Arsenal 8-2, and I believe Arsene Wenger was sent off or sent to the stands. I remember him putting his hands in the air, protesting about a decision, and all the Man United fans laughing and clapping and stuff. So that was another iconic moment in Premier League history. The biggest transfer paid was by Manchester City for Sergio Aguero from Atletico Madrid, 38 million. Longest winning run was by Manchester United with 8 games. Longest winless run was 12 games from Wolverhampton Wanderers. Longest losing run was 8 games by Wigan Athletic. Highest attendance, Man United again, 75,627 at home to Wolves. And the lowest attendance was Queen's Park Rangers versus Bolton with 15,195. Average attendance for the season, 34,601. There was 380 games played and 1,066 goals scored. That was an average of 2.81 goals per game. So that's all the information from the 2011-12 season. Another thing to note was Swansea City on their first season in the Premier League finished 11th. So they had a really solid season. I remember going to the last game of the season because I was living in a place called Newport in Wales at the time, not too far from Swansea. I remember getting a ticket to sit in the away end at Liverpool, and they lost 1-0. That was back in the days when they didn't have a great season, obviously finished 8th. Kenny Dalglish was the manager, the former legend, but they had Andy Carroll, and Suarez wasn't becoming the star that he later became at that time. So yeah, not a bad season. Manchester City, like I say, first title, longest unbeaten run was by Manchester City that season with 14 games unbeaten. Anyway, going into 2012-13 season, and no surprises, the other Manchester lot, the not so the noisier neighbours who won more titles, they won the title back. Now this was to prove a massive pivotal season for Manchester United. They won the title by a lot of points, by 13 points over their bitter rivals Manchester City, finishing with 91 points at the top of the table for the 2012-13 season. Manchester City finished second with 78 points. Chelsea were third with 75 points, and Arsenal finished in fourth with 73 points. The 3 teams that got relegated that season were Wigan Athletic, Reading, and Queen's Park Rangers. Now, the top goal scorer for the season, he had transferred from Arsenal to Manchester United this season, was Robin van Persie, and he made all the difference, and it seemed to turn the tide in Manchester United's favour over Manchester City. Manchester City had a bit of a collapse towards the end of the season. Robin van Persie, like I say, finished top goal scorer with 26 goals. In second, in his first full emerging season for Liverpool, was Luis Suarez with 23 goals for Liverpool. In third was Gareth Bale with 21 goals, and Aston Villa striker at the time, Christian Benteke, with 19 goals. Now, biggest transfer of the season was Eden Hazard coming in from Lille to Chelsea for 32 million. The biggest win of the season was Chelsea smashing Aston Villa 8-0. The longest winning run was Manchester United winning 7 games on the bounce. Longest unbeaten run, Manchester United again with 18 games. Longest losing run was Reading with 7 games. Highest attendance, Man United, 75,605 against at home to Reading. Lowest attendance, Wigan Athletic against Reading, 15,436. And the average attendance for the whole season was 35,931. Your PFA Player of the Year was Gareth Bale for Tottenham at the time. PFA Young Player of the Year was Gareth Bale. Great season when you think he was a winger. He got 21 league goals. I don't know what it was with European goals and cup goals on top of that. Maybe he was getting on for 30 for the season. So he had a great season. Breakthrough year for Gareth Bale. If I'm right, if I can remember rightly, I think it might be that season, or it's the season after. Gareth Bale did that great run where he absolutely annihilated the Inter Milan defence in one of the Champions League games, and that's when everyone knew that Gareth Bale was going to be an absolute legend, basically, which he later on went on to prove with Real Madrid winning European Cups and all that kind of stuff. So, anyway, goal of the season, Robin Van Persie's Manchester United's last home game of the season at home to Aston Villa. They won 3-0. Robin Van Persie, I believe, scored a hat-trick or a brace. I think it was a hat-trick. Or Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney did a beautiful pass about 70 yards within their own half, found him on the left-hand wing, on the left-hand side of the box, and the ball just looped over his head, and he just smashed it on the volley, and it went straight past the Aston Villa goalkeeper. So Man United had a great season, like I say. For the whole season, there was 1,063 goals, 3 short of the previous season, and that was in 380 games, obviously, and that was an average of 2.8 goals per game. So great season. Man United, like I say, wrestled the title back off Manchester City, but the crucial thing that I should have mentioned earlier that I was about to mention was that Alex Ferguson retired after being at the club for a very, very long time. He was there from 1986 to 2013, May 2013. At the time, I said, and a lot of people that I know said, this is going to be the end of Manchester United as far as winning lots of trophies from now on, back to back. I thought they would crumble a bit. I didn't see that nearly 10 years later that we're in now that it would be this bad. But yeah, they just don't have the structure anymore. I believe it's very, very tough for managers to be able to cement the discipline and their mark in a team. One, because they don't get much time to develop a team. That there's too much lack of patience today by owners. And also, the players are on way too much money compared to the managers. So there's very little respect. If you're a 21-year-old guy that's a really talented footballer, but if you're playing crap or you've had an injury or something like that that's unforeseen, you can just ride out your contract. You know that you're on 200,000 a week or 150,000, whatever you're on. Your manager's on probably like, I don't know, 50 or 40 grand a week. Are you really going to respect someone that's double your age or triple your age when he's on less money than you? And he probably hasn't achieved as much in the game as you as a footballer. So there's all those arguments. I'm banging on a bit, but that's my review of the 2011-12 where we saw Manchester City win their first title, and in 2012-13, Manchester United winning their last title under Alex Ferguson. It was his 13th title for Manchester United. It's a record in the Premier League, obviously, so far, unless Pep stays at Man City for ages. But yeah, he retired. Alex Ferguson retired at the end of the season. So the end of an era, the greatest Premier League manager ever, probably, arguably, in my lifetime, will be the best British manager ever in my lifetime and ever in history so far. So yeah, sad goodbye for Manchester United fans. I think a lot of them realised that they were no longer going to dominate a lot of the season. So anyway, in the next episode that I do, it will be a review of 2013-14, where there was a few surprises again, and then there'll be 14-15, and I think I'll have time to do the biggest shock in Premier League history, which happened in the 2015-16 season. Most of you out there that are knowledgeable about your football, you'll know exactly who that was. But I'll be here with all the facts and figures in the next episode. Thank you for all those that like and subscribe. I really appreciate what everybody that's got behind me. We're going to get bigger and better. Things are obviously we're going to become the biggest thing since Match of the Day. Hopefully. And have a great week, all right? All the best to all of you out there and your teams. And I'll catch you again for another episode very soon. Bye for now. This has been Football Heaven 24/7. If you want to get me, it's FootyNut80, all one word. And you can obviously like and subscribe to the channel. All the best. Bye now.